Hello everybody, welcome to Get FPV with
Hey, I don't know if it's going yet. It looks like it's doing something. We'll see, we'll wait until it refreshes. And now.
Hello everybody, welcome to Get FPV with Big Perv and Mr. Steele.
Alright, so what are we doing? We're going to be signing some stuff and also talking to some peeps.
I think so. Take a look at your Apex build we got here. Some of the nice S3s.
We got no comments.
No comment.
No comment. I don't even know. How do you tell viewers? Oh, we got two. What up?
Oh,
two peeps.
Here
What
they
are
come.
what are you chopping there?
Gotta open this up, right?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't sign that one.
Oh, maybe you ruined somebody's
Oh no!
perfectly fresh. What was that? I don't even know what that was.
That was like the box of extras. Strap.
What?
Extra hardware.
Where do you get that?
I think we just put that back in there.
No, I'm saying like that's a impulse box. Why does it? That's weird. I've never seen that before. I don't know what that is.
It must be part of the kit.
But it's in an impulse bag, which is weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what the frame comes in.
Ah, okay, they're reusing stuff.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, good. Good. I like reusing.
Gotta have the
Nice,
Velcro.
yeah. That's for my fake beard.
Yeah. Beautiful thing there.
Oh, mama. Look at that cellophane situation. Or it's not really cellophane, but it's some kind of... What do they heat shrink that with? Microwave?
Big gun.
A giant
They got good
gun.
at it. They cut it to size and measure it and seal it and heat it.
Yeah.
I don't want to...
Extra legit.
I don't want to open this thing. Should
Yeah,
I,
we'll
like...
redo
You
it.
could just sign the plastic, I guess.
We're gonna throw away the we can
Yeah, open it up. We'll
redo
reseal it.
We got plenty of that stuff. Don't worry about that.
That beard! Somebody commented. Alright. I don't want to... This one's going to be de-virginized before anybody can even...
That's alright.
For you, I think they'll say it's okay.
Jesus. What is this, mate? Are these shitty scissors, or is this just like really
Teflon
good?
wrap, bro.
Jump scissors.
Nice. Oh,
Man. This is...
look at that.
I feel like I'm going to throw this across the room trying to open it.
Well, that's why we build it sturdy, so it can handle tosses.
I got to inspect this thing, because you never know. Jeez, this thing is loud. Alright, what do we got here? Have they done this correctly?
I hope so.
I like this.
We try to keep it to standards.
Whoever's building these is doing a pretty good job.
You hear that, Mr. Remy?
Although you need to shift this guy forward.
Yeah, okay.
It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. Dang, he's good at cutting motor wires to length. We gave him that one.
Yeah.
He's done this once or twice. This looks really good.
He's pretty much been doing them exclusively of your builds, yeah.
Oh, snap. And you moved the transmitter thing back so you can actually get to the button.
Yes, sir.
Dang, this boy follows directions. Alright, well,
Okay.
I'll have to teach him how to do some Immortal L, but it still works fine.
It's always room for improvement, right?
Alright, where am I going to sign this guy?
Oh, man.
Somewhere right here?
Yeah, that's a good question. Is it even showing up? Yeah.
I used to do that, but I used to carve my name into them with like a freaking razor blade and it looked like crap.
Let's stay forever, though.
Yeah.
There you go. So first few, I think we're going to have a few of these that are signed. So whoever gets there first is going to get special edition signed.
How's the audio?
Sounds pretty good.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to sign some props too, because why not?
Spread the love.
My signature is worth half a prop, I guess.
At least 50% extra value.
So still, why don't you tell them maybe what you're doing down here, whatever you can share, and just what's been going on for you lately.
Alright. So I drove down here today. I went to bed at like 2:30 last night after a stream on my channel, which was highly controversial about analog and digital.
Yeah, you kind of blew up the internet for a while.
Yeah, for a day or two. It's been actually not even a 2 yet, it's just 1 day. And I woke up at like 5 a.m. and drove the 8 hours to Sarasota, and I have a job over in, what is that neighboring town? I don't even know.
Bradenton, I guess.
Bradenton.
Yes.
So there's a YouTube channel called Cletus McFarland, and he has a racetrack called the
Freedom Factory.
Freedom Factory. Yes. So.
Old Brainton Sports Motor Park it used to be.
Yeah. So well, he owns it now, and I'm gonna be doing a live stream with them on this Saturday coming up. So I'm here doing some pre-shooting today or tomorrow, and then Friday is like. Wait, tomorrow is Friday. Sorry. All of this is like blending into one day because I've been awake for so long. But yeah, Friday is like pre-shooting from 1 to 5, and then Saturday is like a live stream from 6 to 9. I think it's going to be on Cletus's channel, so that'll be kind of cool.
You know, there's a quarter-mile track out there. You can take your van out for a spin.
Testatoon is actually Thursday nights. It used to be.
That's
yeah.
right. I went there a few times.
Wait, they allow you to drive out there?
Yeah,
like,
Thursday
he
nights.
does?
$20 and you can go around the track.
Yeah.
What?
As many down the drag strip.
Still,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I used to take out my everyday street car.
Wait, does that still happen now that the dude owns it?
I'm not sure.
Well,
Like,
the
They're
drag
two
strip's
separate.
It's the same area, but it's separate.
okay.
owners.
Like when you first turn in down the road, there's a drag strip that runs along the road you drive to get back to his place, and then he's like at the back of the road, at the end of the road there, in a roundy round.
So he has like an oval track and stuff,
Correct.
and like some other concrete.
Yeah.
But the
if I'm
drag
not-
strip is like separate. I guess.
Correct. Correct. Yep.
Cool.
And they're owned by different people.
Oh snap.
Yeah. So
Let's see what they got. There's a few comments.
people talking.
Everybody commented on the beard. They're
Yours-
talking about your
yours,
beard.
right?
No, for sure.
Hey man.
You got a few more weeks to catch up to Jerry.
Yeah, at least a
My
week or
quarantine
so.
beard, baby.
Yeah, okay. How many props can you fit in your mouth? That's all. Yeah, that's all that's out there.
0.
I don't know how well black is gonna come up on here, but we'll do it anyways.
Hey, we got some of these Konasky bi-blades.
Someone's probably not even gonna notice that this is signed at all. They're gonna be like, "What's wrong with that prop?"
They'll send it back. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
why is there a ladybug on that prop? Why? I don't know. You guys have ladybug problems down here where they just
More love
like-
bugs.
Love
Love
bug.
bugs,
yeah.
Those things swarm you.
Splatted.
What if Eric came here virtually through my wrist and wrote down his name on these props?
You should do it, Simon.
I'm going to. What up, Jess?
Yeah.
How are you?
So those that maybe don't know who you are exactly or what you've been doing, when did you get started, like in FPV?
I started flying FPV in 2014, and I bought all my stuff through Get FPV and ended up calling, and back then they had free tech service, or they just basically didn't really have tech service. They had someone that picked up the phone, which was like literally the only place ever that would pick up the phone. So I ended up chatting this dude named Sean's ear off, and lo and behold, he still works here, and you know, we've kind of maintained a relationship ever since then. And I kind of got my start through Get FPV. So back when Tim was all around, Tim running around the house,
Yeah.
always Mr. Clean.
Yes. He's still clean as ever.
I'm sorry, I'm like sad that Tim's not here, just because
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while.
I know. He's in town. He's just keeping his distance from people.
I totally get it. I'm keeping my mental capacity low because my brain's melting right now. But yeah, so anyways, Get FPV's kind of been something that I've always known about but never been here. I've seen Andy, I've seen Tim, we've been to Hawaii together, and yeah, never actually come down to Sarasota to see the shop, especially now because you guys got a new one.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's really cool. Almost first full circle. You know, you talk about getting started,
Right.
and then we knew you as a customer, and now we're carrying products with your name on it and
Yeah.
your brand, right? In
Yeah.
our store. Did you ever think that would happen back then?
Nope. Never. Especially when Schizo got sponsored, I was pissed.
Oh, I remember. I had to pick between Schizo and Steele.
Damn it.
You guys didn't live so close together.
Flow
but-
or absolute rippage.
Yeah.
Take your choice.
Yeah, I was pissed. John was like, "Hey man, I just got offered this." I was like, "What?" I've been hitting them up for months. Like, you better take it, you douche.
Right.
That was fun.
Yeah, we still saw his frame too, huh?
I know. I think his motor just came out, right? Like his actual motor.
Yeah, the Hydrodip motor's coming. It's finally in like finishing production. It took forever for that
Yeah.
process because hydrodipping those parts.
Yeah, I
is
heard
not
he was
simple.
telling me. He's telling me it's like a year or so
It's,
since.
yeah, it's stupid long. I mean, it shouldn't take that long. It was just more of the trial and error that took so long. But
Yeah.
Looks sick though.
It's finally to the finish line. They're just doing the final assembly now.
Crazy. When's that? You said it's gonna be soon.
Yeah, factory's supposed to have the first batch done in 2
cool,
weeks.
I got like, I can't even grope mine.
Not yet. Not yet.
You've had facial hair before, but is this the biggest beard you've had?
Yeah, by far. My mustache is actually probably close to the longest it's been. Actually, at one point I could touch it right here, and,
Wow.
Damn.
but it was like real obnoxious.
You wake
wax it
up and
up
it's
and
like
everything?
Yeah,
your
it's,
face.
it's to the point right now where it kind of blends in with my beard
Yeah.
because I haven't put any product or anything in it. But usually, if I put something in it, I can tweak it all up like Monopoly Boy.
I do the braid occasionally when I get deep into soldering,
Oh yeah,
or else I smell burnt hair all day.
you just sit here and
Yeah.
braid it
Oh
up.
yeah. We'll save that. We can do it now.
We were teasing about where to put the microphone. Like, we just hide it in his beard and you never even see it.
Like a bird's nest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is everybody good on audio? I feel like we're talking kind of quiet.
When I had it out there, I cranked it up and I could hear you fine. I don't know.
Okay. Bill Truitt says, can I recommend a perfect battery for the Apex? So it's pretty crucial. I think that you need to stay under 185 grams if you're running a 6S battery, which is kind of rare because it's kind of a hard thing to do. So I would recommend like an 1100 milliamp battery because that's going to be the only thing that you're really going to be able to get at that weight. And the one that I use is a Thunder Power, but you know, that one's available, but I'm not gonna just straight up tell you have to buy a Thunder Power, but that's the one I use and that's the one I recommend.
Is that the same battery you used when you're out there with Bardwell? And is that what he whipped out that one time? When you
No.
were testing them out? No.
No, that was some beefcake heavy battery that was supposed to do 170C
Yeah.
and didn't do.
Max amps, wasn't it? Is that what it was?
No, Max Amps is guilty of putting a high C rating on batteries that don't have a high C rating and saying they have more capacity.
And then charge 3 times as much.
Yeah. I don't know, they're still good batteries.
Right.
There's not really a bad battery out there now.
Right.
Back in the day when you went and bought like the Hobby King Blue series, was that ESCs or was that a battery? Whatever their battery,
They had
the
a battery
Turnigy,
that was blue.
they had a
Turnigy.
Turnigy Blue battery. Oh my god, those were bad. If
They
you
were
left
very
those
tough.
charged for like a day and a half, it was just like
I found one in the lab.
Tempur-Pedic pillow.
Tim had an original for the QV500.
Was it? Oh
It was like a pillow.
Oh
It was
my God.
scary because it was like,
About
how's
to
this thing not
explode.
caught on
we're
fire?
just like,
Oh
oh
my
god,
God.
what is that? So
Nice.
hell yeah, yeah, 1700 stouts. They're pretty good. I enjoy them.
How many people we got on the stream now?
There are 23
Nice.
and
It's
me.
growing, it's growing.
23 and me.
Get your DNA on file.
Let's
So-
see, what's the next like 6 months look like for you? Have anything planned out?
6 months. Well, I eventually would like to start traveling again, but as far as where and when, I don't know. Because Atlanta is like, you guys are pretty much anti-lockdown as well, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody cares about COVID here. Or
Not since they went to step 2-ish. You know,
Oh,
just,
yeah.
it's like a free for all.
depends on where you are and like who you talk
St.
to.
Pete just recently. since
Gotta wear a
yesterday
mask now to
they're
go in all the
starting to lock it because they
businesses.
started having a lot of cases.
Mm.
So we'll see.
What is the difference between St. Pete and St. Petersburg?
Same
Same
thing.
thing.
It's just a short.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But there is actually a St. Pete.
Yeah.
Like there's a little strip on the side that says St. Pete, but then there's St. Petersburg.
Maybe St. Pete Beach.
Yeah, probably.
Could be downtown versus the beach area or something.
They got like a strip of like all the little bars and
Between
stuff.
St. Pete, St. Petersburg, and then Tampa's next to that.
Right.
Tampa's the big city.
Yeah. Cool. Bill, how long you been flying? People asking questions. Let's see what else. Anybody else? Any questions? Any personal questions? Any Sharpie questions?
Hey.
Any questions about this guy?
The sexy build in particular.
Are we gonna do any other ones? Are there more?
Yeah.
I don't want to open them.
You had to be
all up.
scared to open them now.
It only takes them a minute to take them back.
It only takes me 10 minutes to open it.
I gotta make sure I put everything back that's supposed to be in there.
It's funny with the delay when I walked out there. It was right when you were like trying to open it.
They are taking forever. Well, they are well packaged for sure.
What's going on here? Stabbing of things.
Murder, death, kill.
I am opening up builds because I don't ever build my quads at all anymore. I just hire them out. And these are mine. These are my new quads.
Still came by to pick up all those new
Yes.
quads.
I ordered 30 Mr. Steele builds.
Gotta re-up.
I'm here to pick them up. And I'm opening them up on camera like it's freaking my birthday.
You're signing them for yourself.
I am signing them for myself. I'm going to put them on eBay, take the profits, and maybe move to Colombia and buy some powder.
Nice.
No, I'm just in the area visiting Good FPV, and they sell this, which is essentially my exact quad built to my specifications. The only thing different is the fact that my hands didn't physically build it, but as far as everything else is concerned, it's exactly how I would build it. And I am signing them so that they're
A few of these, your hands touched them at least.
Yes.
Yeah, I did grease them up. So if you contract some kind of disease,
We're not gonna wash
and it
them.
was from something that I signed, you know where it came from.
Nice.
So
Beautiful.
yeah,
So you get them all stacked.
powder. ETA on KISS V2s. To be honest, I did talk to Paul probably 2 weeks ago now, and he was, I think he said early July, but it's not up to him, it's up to his supplier, and that would be Flyguino, so I would expect probably early to mid-July, but
Drop another batch of fucking gold.
yeah, the V2s have been kind of hard to come by,
Just,
so I don't know, that would be my guess.
things are tough all over trying to get parts for everything, you know?
Yeah, I mean everything, not even just mini quad parts, like computer parts and literally anything you want that people thought was cool is now hard to find.
Everybody took for granted.
I did go the wrong direction. It was funny, when I was driving here this morning, Jess, I was like, this is about the same time it would have taken me to get to New Orleans. It's about 8 hours from me, 7.5. But at least I didn't have to drive to Miami today, because that would have been 10, and that would have been real long.
Traffic down there too. You hit it the wrong time, man.
Oh, I can imagine. It's real healthy. I haven't driven in downtown Miami. I've only walked, and
Okay.
it was nice.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like a Sunday too, so there was like nobody outside,
Mm-hmm.
which was weird. I guess everyone was hungover from Saturday night.
I'm sure they're all at church.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Do those quads have DJI? Nope.
Yeah,
Starting to stir the pot already.
No,
huh?
it's already stirred. It's okay. When I see pilots doing the stuff that I see analog pilots doing, then we'll talk then.
Exactly.
Yeah. Any questions? My wife blames you for the lack of cuddle time.
How dare
You can cuddle quads. It's okay.
You can cuddle and watch at the same time.
Cuddle 'em.
Nice.
Very cool. Let's see, what else? Will FetTech KISS compatible F7s work with the Impulse OSDs? Yep, it's like straight up plug and play. So you got to think of KISS and FetTech. Essentially the hardware is going to be very similar, especially when it comes to like plug and play. However, the OSD stuff works, but I would say if you want it to work like full-on plug and play, then you need the FetTech ESC and the FetTech flight controller. I'm not exactly sure how the FetTech ESC connects to if you got a KISS V2, but if you have a FetTech KISS flight controller, which is kind of confusing, and you have a FetTech ESC, I would recommend the 45 amp. Then yeah, you're pretty much plug and play. Although on the FetTech you are recommended to put a capacitor and a spike absorber, which can be kind of a pain in the butt. I end up running them on extensions and putting them behind the camera, because I've been flying some FetTech stuff, helping Felix out and testing some stuff for him. So it's kind of a tight build as far as I built it. Sean and I were specifically adamant about this is all it's going to cater to as the gear that was available that I wanted in the build. So it's, you want to put something extra in there, it's pretty much built for that. It's like taking a Helix, which was an impulse frame that was specifically designed with all the gear inside of it, and then wanting to add something to it is just like impossible because it's specifically designed for one thing. So that was a long answer to a question. Yes, it is plug and play and works with the OSD perfectly fine. That was Benjamin Pangleton. We are holding a whoop race in Sarasota tonight. Stop by. Okay. Send me a message on Facebook or probably Instagram would be. Send me a DM and let me know where and when, and I'll see what I'm doing. I might be asleep though.
No promises.
Oh, that guy.
Spicy.
He just hating on the DJI. I'm not hating on it. If you guys listen to the video, I'm literally objectifying the two and talking about the positives and negatives of both and why I prefer one over the other. Not that one is better than the other and you should do it. I don't know. Pretty objective, guys.
Why not just buy both?
Yeah, if you got the money, definitely.
There you go.
I got both and I don't want both, but I got it. Jess says, do you have any weird issues with the FC connection lost intermittently on the FetTech build? It's a strange issue I had on a FetTech but not KISS. I haven't had that actually. I don't know why. I mean, maybe I have special gear or something. But I always have like prototype crap and it works. But I haven't had that problem. I don't know why it would do that. Does it say like lost connection in the bottom? Because if that's so, then the only thing I can recommend is reflash the FC firmware and the ESC firmware to maybe double check and make sure everything's playing correctly and try to update to the latest firmware. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. And update the OSD if you could. And then if it's completely going away and it doesn't say lost connection, then you can go into the OSD settings and set it's one of the settings, I can't remember the name of it, but it has to be at 200. I don't know. That doesn't really help you. But there is this weird situation where if you don't have any OSD, then you have to go in and set the OSD settings in the actual OSD setup for Impulse RC. You can do it in the, well, I guess you can't because you can't physically go into the OSC if you can't see it. But you can go into it on the computer, I think, and adjust it to 200. I think it's sync, cam sync or something sync. 200. Set it to that. You're good to go. Ever make any trips to Michigan? Maybe in the summer when it's not snowing.
Some Detroit bandos?
Yeah, maybe. I've kind of always wanted to go to Detroit ever since I saw all these like epic bandos just to see what they're all about, because at one point, I think when Drew lived up there, he had made some comment about how Detroit was the new Atlanta, because like the crew up there was flying bandos and it was like the new Atlanta scene, but obviously he didn't live there anymore and no one really that I know of flies that much in Detroit. So, but hey, they got some cool stuff and I would like to fly it. What up? FPV crate. You can't be talking about stuff. You're in the other room. I see you. Artem. Who never responds? Who's Christopher Huel? Is that how you spell it? Huel? Hole?
Hule.
When is it? When is the face hugger coming out? That's definitely from Artem. It is coming out soon, but I'm in the process of debating on whether or not it should have one feature, and I can't really tell you that feature, but it's very specific to the mounting and whether or not it's going to be a standalone system or if it's going to be something that deals with the original little ears that hold the thing on. So Acro Whoop DJI with Ethics motors. I mean, I don't know why. That sounds fun. Why wouldn't you do that? Oh dang, a lot of stuff's happened. No answer to my question. 7-inch question. Thoughts on X-Fire Pro antenna. What is an X-Fire Pro antenna?
Crossfire Pro antenna.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Crossfire Pro antenna?
Don't they have? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's like an Immortal T, but it's the another version of it or something.
I don't know what that is.
I'll look it up. I'll try to remember too.
Aaron Randall, thank you for answering. Live in northern Detroit, or northern Michigan. Yeah, man, I'm going to IO this year, hopefully, so if you end up going to that, it's not terribly far, I guess. It's not close, but...
It's in Indiana?
Yeah, where is it? It's not Crandon, that's Ohio. Where is IO? I'm trying to think of where the AMA headquarters is.
Oh, Muncie, Indiana.
Muncie, yeah. Dang, full-on plane coming over top of our heads.
Sound effects.
The Crossfire Pro, that one.
Oh, okay. So for the answer to that, Uldis, that's a hard name. Zeilders. Sorry, I butchered that one.
Yeah, that's close.
The Crossfire Pro antenna. So I actually got that antenna like way super pre-prototype from Alex because he sent it to me just to see what I liked, or see if I liked it, because I was wanting to make an Immortal L with him. And anyways, it's a very good antenna. I've used it on like just kind of a normal flying around the yard session, and I didn't notice anything. I didn't notice anything positive or negative other than the fact that it was a nice easy form factor to mount. So like performance wise, I can't necessarily comment because I don't really push the performance of Crossfire to the limits when it comes to range, because I fly freestyle and I don't necessarily fly to the moon all the time. But as far as an easier standalone mounting solution, and it being very durable. Oh, that's not gonna focus. I have to click the focus button.
That's right.
Yeah, it was like this weird square antenna that's made of like a semi-rigid PCB that you can bend and it doesn't break, and it's like built-in Crossfire antenna. So, anyways, it's made by VAS, and it's not a TBS product. So it's a VAS product, of Alex Greaves thing. So, oh snap, we're deep in the comments. You sent me like 6 DMs.
Santi.
Well, send me a new one and say something ridiculous so that I can see it. It'll pop up in the top.
Sarasota
But it's in like
Whoopers.
requested, okay? So I have to go back through and look at requested, but just, I'll look for it now. Robert Pringle. Sup? I know Pringle.
Mr. Pringle.
Diamond antenna. The diamond antenna, I'm using a new version of it that's a VAS product rather than a TBS product, which is essentially a VAS product but just made by TBS. So the newer one is, I use it, it works well. It's apparently a slightly higher gain than the stock one that TBS sells. It's not stock, but the diamond that TBS sells. So technically, I guess if you want, on paper, better performance, it's better, but I've noticed very little difference over any other Crossfire antenna that I've used other than the stock T. The T one for me doesn't work, but the tuned antenna works really well. The diamond antenna works really well, and this new diamond works really well. So if you're really pushing the limits, then I think the new diamond probably would be better, just because on paper and because Alex says it's better and I trust what he says. But at the end of the day, like, I haven't personally pushed it to the point where it's going to actually fail. And ultimately the diamond antenna as a whole is going to have better low ground performance, so something where it's lowered to ground, where the tuned antenna is going to be very directional as far as having dead points. So if you're pointing at the antenna or pointing at the quad with the tip of the antenna, then you're going to have a larger null than you would with something like the diamond, which is going to send out a more even radiation plot. So I guess in a nutshell, it's good. If you have the money and you want it, then buy it. If you don't, then you're probably okay. Crossfire is a great protocol in general.
This guy, call me no stress. A little easier to say.
No
than-
stress. Yeah, okay. What's your favorite place, freestyle, bridges, parks, or building for freestyle? Well, I rarely fly bridges. This is from Andres Pogi. I rarely fly parks other than my house, I guess could be considered a park. I really like buildings and concrete because it kind of makes me fly a little bit more on edge. I can't crash without breaking something. So
floor is lava.
yeah, legitimately. And it can skid on the ground and get really, really low and not worry about getting caught in the grass. So I kind of like hard surfaces to fly around, but it depends. So like I like office parks rather than, you know, like these epic bandos that are covered in dirt and dust and grossness on the ground.
As you wreck, you get a bunch of metal in your motors.
That I don't like, but like well-groomed office parks. Ooh,
Those are yours to keep.
Okay.
I figured you can look at them if you wanted to.
Yeah, I do want to open them up. Let's answer a couple questions and then I'll open these up. 4S or 6S and why, from Christopher Huell Hall. So 4S is perfectly adequate and is going to work for 90% of anyone that's going to get into FPV. It's a lot more affordable. The batteries are a lot more readily available, especially considering since most of the hobby has switched to 6S now. The electronics are a lot more capable of handling 4S than they are 6S, so you're going to run into less problems with cheaper gear. However, 6S is kind of the standard now, so when you talk about, you know, what most people are flying and their PIDs and rates and all of that stuff, which it doesn't change too much as far as rates are concerned between 4S and 6S, but you do have a large drastic change in battery price when you go from 4S to 6S. So you're looking at maybe $25 a battery for 4S, and you're probably looking at $35 to $50 a battery for 6S for the same weight, but you get about 40% to 50% more flight time. So if you're getting 2 minutes really flying hard on 4S, you get about 3 minutes to 3.5 minutes flying hard on 6S. But for beginners, like usually you don't make it through a whole 2 minutes without crashing.
Or you're getting an 8-minute flight.
Yeah, and you're probably getting an 8-minute flight because you're not flying super hard. So it really comes down to what you want. If you want to grow into something and you don't mind eventually, you know, essentially rebuying gear, because when you go from 4S to 6S, a lot of stuff doesn't straight up translate. Because you have to buy new motors because they're geared a certain way, and you probably need a new ESC. So it's like, I think at this point I would recommend just go ahead and going 6S, just because you're going to probably do that. It depends on how serious you think you're going to be. Like, you kind of gauge whether or not you're going to love something, or you think you might get in it for a minute and then get out of it. Right. So if you're like looking at it and you think you're going to be pretty serious about it, then go ahead and go 6S. But if you're just like kind of wanting to dip your feet in and like check the temperature and see how it is, and maybe like wait on regulations to come out, then 4S is probably adequate for you. I mean, it's definitely adequate. I flew it for 5 years and had no issues. So,
and like that's when I was getting into it. It was either 3S or 4S.
Yeah.
And I mean, I started with 3S, but I mean, it only lasted like 3 or 4 months, and I was already upgrading. So.
Yeah. I was like 3S was the standard, and 4S was like the cutting edge. And I bought 3S, and then I immediately bought 4S. So it was like useless to me.
Exactly.
Dan, what up, Corey?
Oh,
Corey Caps in here. Okay, so motor guards, Jonathan B. Ott. Motor guards, or just bolt it and send it. What?
Like if you put motor guards on there, maybe?
Motor guards. I guess it depends. The more weight you have further away from the quad is going to change how the quad flies. Whether or not most people are going to be able to tell the difference. If you give them a good quad that has a lot of the weight centered in the motor, then, or a lot of the weight centered in the quad, and then you give them a crappy quad, aka something that's got a lot of weight on the external arms, they're going to be able to tell the difference. But if you start out flying with one and you don't know what optimal feels like, then you're not going to know a difference. So it's kind of down to you whether or not you think durability over performance. And at the end of the day, there is a threshold where durability does outweigh performance, but there's also a threshold where performance makes you become a better pilot quicker, because it's more responsive and understanding in how you're reacting and how quickly the aircraft responds. But all of these things are taken with a grain of salt, because apparently the internet thinks that I'm full of shit because, hey, my aircraft is expensive and it doesn't fly X amount of dollars better than a $200 bind and fly. So, whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. I've only been doing this for a while now. Let's see, what up next? Come climb with us in SW this fall. Dude, that'd be rad. Props in or out? I always just fly props the standard configuration. So upper right prop counterclockwise, so it would be in, I guess, slinging stuff onto your camera lens. And the reason I do that is mainly because there's always a USB port on the side of the quad, and although you can usually fly through trees and it doesn't suck you in, I don't really ever have that problem where I get sucked into stuff. Right. And I would rather my camera lens get dirty than my USB port and all of my electronics. So if you fly around wet grass or anything like that, it's much easier and much better for your camera lens, which is usually pretty water resistant, because you're not really getting in the camera, rather than it shooting all of that debris and dirt into your USB port and all over your flight controller.
Nothing a little lick won't clean.
And the yaw performance, I've felt, feels a little bit better on the standard configuration, which is counterclockwise upper right and clockwise upper left. So
Makes sense.
Jonathan Biot, anyone ever asked Betaflight to make props out the default? I mean, no, because props in has been the default for so long.
And it's easy enough to change. I mean,
yeah, I mean, so if you made it the default, and then you have people that have been flying the default for so long, and they're like putting props on, it would be a huge confusion situation. So, yeah, I don't think that's a thing. That's why you have to
standards.
Do it. Yeah, you can't reinvent the meter. Let's see. Get FPV and Steele both. You rock. Thanks. Cool. Stan, thank you.
Stan does the prop guards, the 3D printed prop guards.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Stan FPV.
Cool. Wait, oh, that's not Stan FPV, is it?
That's not him? I thought that was him.
Stan Marzares Jr.? I don't know. I don't know his last name, damn it. Sorry if it is you, Stan. I'm sorry. It is?
He's a junior.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, if it's Stan FPV, then hey, what up?
Who gives blood?
I know you. I just didn't. I don't know why. I don't think I've ever seen you on Facebook. I've only seen you on Instagram and met you in person. Let's see. What did that say? Your favorite FPV pilot? Willie So. Air Blaster. And Santiago, what up? Let's do a prop guard boards. Are those prop guards? Oh yeah, okay. So we need to open these.
Paragard boards.
Paragard boards. How do you know about the secret sauce?
He works with Artem.
I know. I know about their little secret relationship. Artem's wife, if you're watching.
Keep an eye on Santi.
There's something in Colombia that is holding your husband hostage. And its name starts with an S and ends with an Ago. Alright?
There it is.
What up, Shane? Do you prefer flying with the Session or the Hero 8? First of all, I don't think the Hero 8 is a very good camera in a nutshell. It's too heavy. The stock mounting placement is terrible. It wiggles, and there's not really any good applications for it. There's no ND filters that fit on it. So overall, I don't really like the Hero 8, but as a camera itself, it is better than everything else that's come out previously. So I like the form factor of the Session. I think the Session is the perfect camera. However, the quality's not that great. So I use a Hero 8 because it has the best quality, but as a camera and a platform and just a general camera that I would put on a quad, I feel like the Session is very adequate. But again, like, not everybody's gonna go out and buy a Session,
right?
Because it's like useless. You can't get a warranty on it. They're really hard to find.
Yeah. They're getting harder to find by the day.
They get harder to find by the day.
Yep.
So, all right, this is kind of cool. This is one of these things that I was walking around looking at stuff, and I was like, what the hell is that? Because it looks cool. We're going to open this up, and then I'll answer some more questions. So this is a Lumineer Paragard, and I don't have to endorse this, but it is cool, and I wanted to talk about it, because they're also giving me one, but that really doesn't matter, because it is a fucking cool product. So check this thing out. Dang, that packaging. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's basically a parallel board that not only looks like it's straight out of a steampunk video, but it's also super safe. You like can't plug anything backwards. So if you plug in like a 2S here and a 4S here, it just turns on lights and tells you that they're wrong, or a buzzer goes off if you plug in a different battery into these ports. So if you have an XT60 and you plug in the main port, say 2S here and 3S here, it just buzzes at you and says, hey, and it might pop this fuse. Where if you plug in the balance boards backwards, which happens all the time on para boards, then yeah, it's gonna just basically turn some lights on right here and tell you that there's a short within the system. It's pretty awesome.
As opposed to cooking all your batteries and the parallel board.
Yeah, usually it either does one of two things. It either bursts a battery, usually the lower cell count battery, or it burns the parallel board up. And parallel boards generally are pretty cheap, and you're gonna pay 20 bucks for them anyways. So it's like, you get the generic board that essentially burns immediately if you were to do something wrong, which Snake, you're the last person I've seen that burned one of my boards. But I have done it in the past. You plug in a 4S battery. It's a lot harder to do with 6S now, but with a 4S battery, it was pretty easy to do. Because you plug it in, you might slip and go into the 5S port or something like that. But this thing, what are these, 29?
Cost?
Yeah.
The 6 one is 40, 43, 44.
And I think the 4 is
The
29.
4 port's a little cheaper. It's in the 30s, I think. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a little more than a cheap one, but if you burn one, it's going to save you.
This is going to last you forever, and it's going to be a lot more beginner friendly. And honestly, just the quality of it compared to a regular parallel board, it looks a lot cooler on your desk. It's got a lot of cool features, and I don't know, I like it. And it looks steampunk. I like the PCB design. I wish you could like zoom in on it. I guess you can kind of see it. That's the back of it. And the front.
And there's an XT30 version as well.
And then, there is XT30. You know what? Check it out.
Oh, coming in hot.
We're going to be screwed, though. What's it look like? Is it focused?
Yeah.
It's trying. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I can see it here.
Very nice.
Look at that bokeh.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Very cool.
Nice.
Dang, that computer's like, oh! It turned on. The fan turned on. Alright. Let's see. What else?
They're trying to get you to come fly the whoops tonight.
Uh-oh.
That Alex guy, he puts on a local thing he tries to do it once a week, I think.
Where do they fly at?
All over the place. They've flown into some parking garages in Bradenton and
Okay.
wherever they can get some space.
The drifting situation. I'm actually going to a drift event tomorrow. So it's like a live stream drift event on Cletus McFarland's YouTube channel. So Adam LZ and like the typical drift hoonigans online are going to be there. Not hoonigans literally, but the guys that are hoonigans that drift, and like Von Gittin Jr. and Chelsea DeNofa, and those guys will be all there this weekend. And I'll be doing their live stream with drones flying around with analog video. It's going to be fun. I'm using a diversity from like forever ago with RCA jack outputs.
So they can see it?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of fun. They're going to integrate it into their live stream. It should be kind of cool.
That's going to be sick. I seen they have they've had a few guys out there flying with them.
Yeah, they usually use Max.
Okay.
Maxim.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a local guy here. But yeah, I've heard of them using guys before. So they were kind of like, yeah, we're doing this live stream thing. We just want you there. I was like, okay, cool.
Be cool.
How long have I been flying the Apex? Robert Nicholas. Since before it came out. So I think it came out last year, like in April. So probably February, March of last year. So about a year and a half or so. But I mean, the Apex is essentially 4 years of me flying the Alien and wanting to change it, and that's what ended up happening, is the Apex. I mean, I never wanted to change the Alien, but if I had to make changes... Dang, look at this little sucker.
Yeah.
I feel like this is in the movie Toy Story. Like, Master! I don't know.
What cup?
Literally, like, done. Should we expect an Ethics Hero 8 mount? I've seen ND filters and engagement posts before. Yes, but it's not going to be like a... It would be more like an ND, a face hugger, so it would be like a shroud that goes over the outside of it that protects it, and offers the ability to be able to like maybe slip in an ND filter or even put on a stick in ND filter, but it protects the lens and the screen, and also helps hopefully get rid of some of the vibrations between the ear mounts, because the ear mounts are extremely volatile, and if you have shaky ear mounts and you have a really bright day and you're shooting a high FPS, it's pretty uniform that you're going to get jello in the video. So
Multifunctional mount?
hopefully I don't know, it might have this little tail on it that I haven't figured out yet. It looks kind of weird, but when you use it, it works. So yeah, it sounds kind of strange. Come fly whoops. All right, Alex, I'll think about it. I'll see what I'm doing. Again, if I'm not asleep, then I'll probably be Chris, I don't know what you're asking about, how much. Alex, can you post the info tonight for the race? Oh, I can post it in the group. Post it on
GetFPV's page or something?
Yeah, posted on Good FPVs. Sup, Steele, Mr. Purvis.
Hello, sir.
Best tip in progress in freestyle. Tip to progress in freestyle.
Packs. Rip packs.
So, first of all, consistency and then time. The one thing that I can say is get your gear set up to where it makes it feels as an organic and natural as it possibly can. I'm doing a How to FPV series right now on my YouTube channel, and you can, I'll teach you how to set up your gimbal, your throttle gimbal, so that it's very smooth and consistent. You set up your gimbal your tension, so it's like, very natural feeling to you. Obviously, you can adjust it however you want, but I kind of give you a good baseline to start with. Setting your yaw gimbal being a little stiffer kind of gets rid of some unwanted yaw inputs when you're throttling up, because that's kind of a problem for new people. And then also making sure that your rates are set correctly, because if you don't, there's another video how to tune rates, and rates are extremely important, and you can do this in your simulator, and then essentially the simulator can translate directly to a real life quad, and you can run the stock PIDs, and you're pretty much going to have a good plug and play system. So I would go down that path, and then ultimately at the end of the day, the quad that you're flying does have a good effect on whether or not you're going to progress or not, and if you have something that can be consistent. So I guess the one thing that you don't want to do is build 3 different quads of all different sizes, shapes, and form factors with all different battery counts and motor KBs and stuff. Like, obviously you want to try to figure out what's best for you, but really you need to understand what flying is before you start figuring out what's best for you. So stick with one platform for a good while until you can get comfortable with it, and then you can say, oh, well, this is holding me back in this region, so I probably want more power, or I probably want to try a different prop, or you can try these things all the time, but the best thing to do is not switch up stuff every time you go out and fly, because you're ultimately going to have to relearn how to fly that every time you go out.
They all have their little ticks and quirks,
Yeah, it's taken me 7 years to essentially fly the same thing, even though I have been tweaking on it for 6 years. Sorry. So, okay. Can you tell us some more about the live stream setup in Air HeroCast? Yeah, it's literally just going to be an analog setup. Like they're going to be having a diversity from Immersion RC that's plugged in via RCA to a digital, probably mixing board, and then they're going to use the analog video to stream. So it's not going to be HD live stream, and they're perfectly fine with that, because I told them if they wanted HD streaming, then they were going to have to supply the HD streaming equipment, and I don't have that. So, dang. Yeah, where you at, SJ?
He took off.
You gone.
Yeah.
You gone.
We had Hugs waiting for you.
I don't have a gig in Miami. I have a friend that lives in Miami, the guy that owns Taxi Garage. They make those little crazy carts. They modify crazy carts.
Oh,
you know what
like
those things are?
Thing you pull the thing.
Yeah, it's like a
around.
pair of casters on an electric wheel.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Last question. What's your go-to FC? Kiss V2 is the one that I use in my reliable rigs. In my prototype rigs, I have a FetTech Kiss FC, but yeah, I'm just I have a couple rigs. I have 3 rigs, that I know are not going to crash due to equipment failure, and those are all Kiss V2. So I guess if that answers your question, that is what I would recommend. But I also am running a full Kiss, like the ESC and flight controller. So. Brandon, hey, I'm new to FPV. Great to see you. See such a tight community, and can't wait to start collecting some awesome drones. Good FPV is cool site. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What up, Michael? The Lumineer board. Oh, so the para board is 43 for the 6-port one, and 29. I think. I swear I saw 29, but it could be more.
I think the cheapest is above 30s.
Okay, so let's say 34 for the 4-port and 43 for the 6-port.
XT30 is 29. That's right.
Okay.
4-port XT30 is 29.
That 4-port XT30 is 29, and then so that's the lowest possible price, and then the highest is 43.99, I think. Yeah. So sounds like a lot for a parallel board,
There's a lot of parts on it. Honestly, there's one of them. If you count them, it's 90 LEDs.
Yeah,
It's
compared to a regular board that you're gonna buy for $20, that literally has 30 cents worth of parts on it.
Right. With questionable soldering on most of those.
Yeah, you take the boards off, or you take the cases off, and you
nasty.
look. It looks like someone took a blowtorch and just started throwing.
We had a few from customers where the XT60 on one of the boards was like reversed.
Jeez.
Too.
Oh,
Like
awesome.
physically reversed.
Yeah, you just put it on backwards. Oh.
Yeah, friggin' full Amazon special.
So when you only got to spend it once, you're actually saving money.
Let's see. Wait, what? He wants me to rip the secret squirrel.
Oh, yeah, this is a place over there by.
It's a Bradenton, actually.
Okay.
Pretty cool spot.
Perv knows where it is.
Is there?
Got the XT60 and the XT30. Tommy Luther.
Thank you, Tommy.
What up, Caden? Thank you. Hello from Brain 3D.
Oh, nice.
What up? What up, Brian?
He does a lot of our prints.
Watching you on a office TV. Damn, watch out! Don't get too close. I got
See
some
my blackheads?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Might need to get a face wash over here or something. Been sitting in a car for 8 hours. My face is about to melt off.
Some 90-degree weather in Florida.
Yeah. No stress FPV. So then you would recommend flying DJI at a drift event if need be?
Now you've got analog guys flying, you got to knock them out of the air.
So I don't think I would feel comfortable flying it, but hey, I don't know what I'm talking about. So hey, I'm not even gonna. All I can say is, if it were me, I wouldn't feel comfortable flying it at a drift event because there's a lot at stake, and I would fly something that I'm comfortable with. Now, if someone's got 1,000 packs on a set of DJI, drones, and they're comfortable with it, and they're comfortable with the latency changing on them, and they're comfortable getting, millimeters away from a car. If you're just flying conservatively, you can do that anywhere with anything. Like, you can get close to a drift car with a Mavic if you really want to. So it just depends on your comfort and your, overall understanding of how your gear is going to react in an unknown environment, and also with unknowns as in cars coming in and out of frame and you being low and being able to be hit. So a lot of this stuff comes down to just how comfortable you are with your gear.
Right.
And I'm not comfortable with DJI because I don't fly it on a regular basis. I just test it every couple months to see if something's changed.
Right.
I'm not comfortable enough to justify running it. That doesn't mean it's not good and can't do it. I'm just telling you that I don't personally use it. Whether or not you want to go buy it, I can't tell you yes or no. I'm just telling you, if you're asking me, I don't use it.
Right.
But I'm not hating on it by any means.
Go with what's proven, so, because that's how
Yeah.
you make your living, so you want to do it.
Exactly.
Andres,
Andres, I have a question for you. For your opinion on which goggles you like more, the HDOs or the HD3s? I think if I had to pick between those two goggles, I'd go with the HDOs. Specifically because the HD3 isn't really that much bigger of a field of view, so I think the HD3 is like a 43-degree field of view, and the HDO is like a 35 or 38 or something like that.
Something like that.
So,
You guys do the temperature-wise.
oh, I'm good. Are you dying?
We're good.
But realistically, the HDO, the OLED screen is so much better. Like, the only reason I didn't switch to the HDO 1 when it came out was the field of view was so much smaller than what I was used to, which was a 50-degree field of view on an HD2. I know that's a lot of numbers, but
That's the same difference.
that's why the HDO 2 is roughly a 50-degree. I think it's like 46 or 48 or something, but it's roughly a larger field of view, but with an OLED screen, and then also you get diopter and interpupillary distance adjustments.
And an on-off button.
However, the diopters are stupid because they
Yeah.
touch your eyeballs, and then every time you put your goggles up on your head, it gets greasy, and you clean it, and it's just a pain in the ass. I don't know if there's a way to fix that, but I don't like it.
Thicker foam.
I mean, I like it because it makes it clearer, but
Yeah.
for real world use, it's almost impossible to
Tough balance.
keep
Get as
clean.
close as possible without touching.
Yeah, but
Right.
you move it on your head, and it's almost like you need a freaking, what do you call that? A robe, or what do you call the thing that you put on your face?
Bandana?
No,
Rag?
no. There's like a full religious name for it.
Oh.
A shroud. I don't know.
Turban?
No, that's racist.
Pretty sure.
I'm trying to think of the name. But anyways, someone will say it. Baklava.
Oh, that's Greek dessert.
No,
No, I'm starving.
baklava is
Oh.
literally like the thing that you wear that's like goes over your face when you're in a race car. And your eyeballs are like this. The baklava is like what goes. You need that.
The
to
fire
put-
retardant.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Start a new trend.
Yeah, wear a baklava while you're ripping. It'd be like, boom, and then you'd have goggles. Like you wouldn't have a goggle tan. I can tell you that.
Like the stick.
No
Yeah,
tan.
you'd be sick. We're in Florida as well. It's crazy hot outside. Yes, it
Yes,
is. It is
agreed.
very hot. Luckily, I got here before it got real hot. What time is it? 5:20? Jeez, I've been awake for 12 hours. I don't even know what.
Not we
I'm usually awake like maybe 16 to 17 hours ever a day.
Dang.
And now I'm open. I'm 12 and it's not even 6 o'clock yet. No stress. Thanks for the answer. Much in line with what I'm thinking. Cool. Yeah. You'll be happy. I think you'll be happier and more consistent with analog. But again, if you're new to the game, then DJI is very appealing. And to be fair, you're not going to really notice a difference as a new pilot, I don't think.
Right.
But if you're trying to go for like, it depends on where you're going. If you're going for like entry level, you think you're only going to stay at like 30% to 50% skill level, and you never want to push beyond that, then I'm sure you'll be fine. But if you're trying to go for that nth degree of racing skill or something like that, then as you can see, all the top racers and all the top FPV guys still fly analog. So there's a reasoning for behind that stuff, and I don't want to make this another video about analog and digital.
They can see that on Steele's channel.
Yeah, you can see 2 hours of that on my channel. Hey Steele, James Lewis, not FPV related, but how's it going with the sim? Love it. Best thing I've done in a long time. I love being able to like go home after whatever, it doesn't matter time of day, and I can just sit in that thing and drive a Miata at Mach 10 around.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I just get on the like Nordschleife or Nordschleifen, whatever, the big Nürburgring or whatever, and I just get in that MX-5 and kill it.
That's pretty sick.
Like no grip the whole time, just it's so fun. What up, Steph from France? Bonjour. Putain. Newbie drone foam for the goggles fixes the problem. No, it doesn't. I had it. I've had it since day one. It really doesn't fix the problem. I got a curvy forehead though, so it is thicker and it does make it better, but it still touches my forehead. So, and I use the first gen foam. So they have like this second generation neoprene foam that's specifically for the HDO2, and I prefer the original HDO goggle, or the normal Fat Shark one that has the more pronounced nose piece, because it pushes. I have a really high bridged nose, and it kind of the other one puts a lot of pressure right here.
Okay.
Where the one that has a lot of foam right there kind of disperses the pressure a little bit.
Okay.
SJ up at 2, get all the goodies in. That's right.
He gets the early start here, so he leaves early.
Oh man.
I get in the morning. He says, "I'm about to go take lunch."
Oh my god.
Takes lunch like at 10.
Lunch at brunch.
That's scary. I should come hang out with the Canadian pilots. I am opposite of the Canadian pilots right now. I will though, eventually, I'm sure. I want to do a northeastern trip like really bad. Hopefully you're not like Vancouver, because that would be detrimental to me going up northeast.
That'd be a long drive.
Yeah. I do want to go to Washington and Oregon really badly though. I never made it that far north, and obviously Vancouver, and I've been to Vancouver. Vancouver's very, very cool. No stress. I am flying drift chase almost exclusively for 2 years already. Poor Baltics. Hashtag poor Baltics. I have problems shelling out the bucks for getting a ground station, and that can read HeroCast can tell them I can't even fucking read. It's moving. It's like moving up
You know
on
any
me.
cheaper alternatives?
Oh, cheaper alternatives to like HD broadcast? I don't know. I think DJI has an option now. I think like your best bet would probably be like an analog system with a DJI system on top of it. Kind of like what they do on all these races where they need HD out. 'Cause you're not relying on it as like an FPV feed, so you can like fly analog and like, I don't know. I think that would be the cheapest way, because DJI is extremely inexpensive right now, especially because it's on sale. You can get like 2 air units and a goggle set for whatever, but you need the Mavic remote. So yeah, again, I don't know. There's a lot of roads to go down for this HDI or HD out path. But HeroCast is pretty expensive and pretty bulky from my understanding. Let's see. Joseph Jack Steele, good to see you. If you weren't flying KISS, what platform would you consider flying? I mean, if their KISS wasn't around, I would fly Betaflight.
What did you fly before KISS? Was Betaflight around then?
I started on CC3D, which was literal garbage. Literal garbage. I bought it, and it was like had all these pins and crap. And then my buddy talked me into getting a Naze Rev 5, so I got Naze with Clean Flight, or had base flight. Sorry, I had base flight on it. And then Clean Flight came out, and then a couple years later, Beta Flight came out. But by that time, I had Beta Flight came out, and Boris was like super underground. I think I was one of the first people. Me and Chad Nowak were the first people to use Beta Flight as a fork, and then and then KISS came out with a flight controller, because I was using KISS ESCs for forever, and KISS came out with a flight controller, and I switched to that, and I really haven't looked back. I've flown Beta Flight controllers and stuff, and they fly really well. I mean, for the longest time, KISS had the advantage, and then now everyone's kind of caught up, and really now the difference between Beta Flight and KISS and Race 1, or whatever you want to call it now, is like personal preference. It's like, what tire do you like? Well, it depends on the situation, and it depends on who's driving. So it's a very personal thing. It's like kind of like picking the color of the shirt you want to wear that day. I mean, that's a little more reasonable, a little bit more reasonable of an analogy than tire, because most people aren't going to know what the hell tire is going to do.
People aren't all car people. Huh? What's up, Donald?
Donald. Let's see. Catch you later. All right. See you, Caden. Good evening, Niles. What's up, guys? South Africa. Dang, what time is it there? I bet it's like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock there.
Night owls.
Actually, probably midnight. Probably 7 hours plus. How many quads have I lost? I have lost one full-size, like, big quad, and then another one. Didn't really lose it, but the ESC kind of burned the flight controller, so I don't know, I consider that one. So technically, one fully lost, and then two.
I've lost one in a lake before, in Georgia, actually,
yeah.
On vacation.
Yeah, no, it's not fun.
No, especially when it happens at the beginning of vacation.
A while ago, didn't you have that video where you lost one like in that fountain and you went swimming for it?
Oh, he went in for that one.
Yeah, I don't.
You found it, right?
I know low quad left behind.
Waders and all, huh?
I did find it, yeah. Got me some waders and kicked around in there for like an hour and a half on a nice frigid day.
I saw a guy post recently, he lost a quad in a river or something, like, not very deep, but like murky, couldn't see it.
Yeah.
He stuck his GoPro on a stick.
Really?
And stuck it down in the water, but he didn't have it live out, so he just recorded footage, reviewed it. No, not there. Went down like a foot.
What?
Reviewed it. He said he did it 3 hours, and then he finally found it on one of his things. And that's dedication. I would have given it out probably in 10 minutes. But.
Oh man.
I would have been walking around kicking.
Yeah.
Because that's easier than GoPro sweeping.
Yeah. Right. Was sweeping the ground, looking for it.
Hey man. However you get it done, right?
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you get it back.
Yep.
Explain my overpriced drone, Jesus Ramirez. Well, cost $600 in parts. There's some money to be made because you have to build it, and it's specifically built to my exact specifications, which are not very easy to do.
Nope.
And I make a cut, so that's it. That's explained.
And if you buy it today, you might get one that's signed.
Obviously, me making a cut is a thing, but at the end of the day, I've been refining this thing for 6 years, so it's kind of like R&D that you're paying for rather than just someone building a quad. And not everybody works for $4 an hour. So, you know, these guys got to make money, I got to make money, and it's a commodity. So that's the reality of the situation.
Everybody wants everything built in America.
If you want them from me, it's $200 more. If you want my hands to build it, it's $1,100. So, and I have no problem selling those. So obviously there's a demand for it. So I feel like $900 is a very reasonable price, Mr. Jesus.
Mr. Jesus.
Dude, you are crazy. My glasses, I have prescription on. I can't see without my prescription sunglasses, sir.
Oh, he wants to see your eyes.
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe people don't know that you drove 8 hours today too.
Yeah, I probably look like I'm on drugs because I did
yeah.
drive 8 hours. Yeah. Joe Scully, what? Holy crap. Dude, I need to see you at some point. I miss you. I haven't seen that guy in forever. Where you at? You still in Canada doing rodeos?
Who has more fun than him?
No one.
Yeah.
No one. How much long range? I wouldn't say I've done any long range. I've done some moderate range, but nothing over about a mile. What's up, Matt? Thank you so much, Matt Baker. Exactly. You do pay for quality, James, but at the end, like I said, it's R&D you're paying for. Like anybody can just go throw together a quad.
Proven parts,
Like
a proven frame.
It's really like the motor combination with the ESC combination with the prop combination, the weight of the quad, how it's put together. All of these things really combine to make a quad fly well. So if you want to like see this for yourself, just go watch Bardwell, who doesn't necessarily give it a great review, but just watch his flying. Don't take what he says. Just watch him fly and say, well, he's never flown this drone before in his life, and he's hitting gaps and doing things that he's never done. And you can like essentially see a 20% increase in pilot confidence just by flying a drone that is overpriced. So I love the guy to death, but you know, you can see it. You don't have to like listen to what he's saying to understand that it's like a refined formula that works well. And again, I don't have to sell them. Like this is just people are asking for them, and this is a cheaper option than me physically building them because I don't have enough time in the day to do that. I built 40 of them last year. They take me anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to build depending on the setup, which depends. Some days I'm just slower,
Right.
and the setup is me being slow.
Right. That's everybody.
Yeah. So let's see. Are the scissors for the beard? The beard trim challenge.
Better not.
They are, Joe. Nope, we're not promoting any analog FPV, Mr. Thomas Hader. Benjamin Pringleton. Get them FPV points. Watch for a discount code. I think I got one for like $750 I built myself. I don't even know. What does that mean?
He bought the parts himself to build the Apex, and then he's comparing that to buying it pre-made. He says the $175 extra is worth it to have someone else do it.
Yeah. I mean, to be real, like I said, you can buy the kit for, depending on where you buy it and depending on who has stock, anywhere from $5.99 up. But
and then not only do we build them, we also test fly them, so we know everyone.
Yeah, and it's loaded with all of my.
It.
I mean, if you were to buy the kit and watch my video to a T, you could do it. But if you've never built anything before, or you're just tired of building and you don't have the time, it's. I mean, at the end of the day, who's going to build it, test fly it? The test flying and the setting up part takes me an hour.
Right.
Like, the building of it only takes 2 hours. But the putting it all, like, flashing the right firmwares on there, putting the right PID dump on there, like, getting the camera set up correctly at the right angle, getting the camera lens focused correctly, all of these things add up in time. And at the end of the day, this is already done for you to my exact spec. Whether or not I touched it, it's pretty much exactly like if you were to get it from me, and you're saving yourself the $200 of me doing it. Yes, you're paying a little bit more, but it's not just some random thrown together aircraft.
Right.
So, this guy says, Rithik. He says, I built a Steele RTF myself with an Apex HD on DJI. Says that's not really my quad, but I guess it's an Apex with my motors on it. Same Steele motors running KISS V2 4-in-1. I love how it flies. I just need to figure out where to get your PIDs so I can. They're on my Instagram, man. Just go on my Instagram. It's like 10 pictures back. I'm very open about my PIDs and rates. Are you okay with hooking up with Code Red while you're here? Yes, I love Cody. Why would I not be?
He might be out of town. He might be back.
No, he's here. I saw him. He got a broken collarbone. That boy took a spill off him.
The skateboard?
Off a skateboard.
Oh,
no, I think he got hit by a car,
Did he
actually.
really?
Something like that.
On a skateboard though, or no?
I think on a skateboard, yeah.
He hauls ass on that
He
thing,
does.
man.
I saw his videos. It's like, that's awesome, but one of these times it's going to be a bad
Oh, yeah.
fall,
He was
man.
like, check this out. And he had like this giant thing, and his shoulders all
Raspberry.
sideways. I was like, dude. Florida concrete and asphalt is not good though. Like everywhere else we got this smooth, nice, like refined stuff, and I guess the sun just like
Got that chunky
it like
stuff where
pries
it's like
out
rocks.
holes out of the
It's
asphalt.
like, yeah, just raw. Really
And you're just
raw.
like full on like 2 grit sandpaper. It's not good. Skate or die, legit. I think that is tattooed on freaking Code Red's eyeballs.
He's intense. I've flown with him quite a few times. He's a good dude.
He's so funny. I love Cody. cool. We've been going like an hour and 9 minutes.
Yeah,
you want to cut it out?
2 more questions? And then
Yeah,
we
let's do a
wrap
couple
it
more
up.
questions. Joe, where you at? I want to hang out. He got doored. That hippie rolled. This bottle. You can clone me if you want.
Let's see the famous.
You got your
Steele
lip
bottle
juice.
flip.
I got no juice.
Yeah. No, he's got one over there. Flip his. There you go.
Oh, that one's got too much water in it, but I can make it happen. COVID.
Oh.
Oh, it's like Kobe, but not as. Dude, this thing's hard. It's got too much water in it, and it's like tiny. It's impossible.
I got different kids.
Different kids. Let's see, Donald Bullard. I don't have a question, but I have to say I started flying because of your videos, Mr. Steele. I enjoy watching your videos and the growth you have had and helping the hobby as well. Just sending you and Jeremy love, so please continue to do your thing.
He's a good dude. Have fun with him too.
GetFPV is a great company. Keep it up. Thank you, Donald. Thank you.
Another good local.
Love some Code Red. Got me started at FPV. Dude, Cody, like, to be real, is one of the funniest low-key FPV. Like, as far as people are funny, you don't even know Cody's funny until you know Cody, and then he's like beyond funny. Yeah, you're like, wait, what? What did you just say? Or what video did you send me? Like,
I love his short little videos.
yeah,
It's
he just
like
like does
something
his little
crazy.
weird short clips of him almost doing like an SNL skit or something. And you're like, what is going on? And you die, like that chicken in the corn. That freaking video where he overdubs him singing the song. It's so amazing. It's hilarious.
He's a creative dude.
All right, anybody got any questions? One more, 2 more? Nice to see you guys. Santi, what up? I want your glasses. You need to give me that hookup. That boy's got some hookup with some Ray-Bans, I think.
Ooh, okay.
He's got some good Ray-Bans. They don't ever fit my face, but hey, you got Ray-Bans on.
The Men in
It's
Black.
Cool. It's cool. He is. Oh man, I have played with Cody on Warzone, and he went around just stabbing people in a ghillie suit. He didn't even use a gun. We were like playing Plunder, and he's just like running around with a knife. It's like, what the hell, Cody?
Nice.
And he ended up killing like more people than most of the people on our team.
Everybody hiding in the corner, camping?
No, he would sprint across the map and take them out.
Really?
He's like juking them, and like, cause he's so fast with the knife, he's like, ha, 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 like juking people up. SJ Girth. SJ. Okay, so what's the perfect weight? What's his last name?
Gerschlauer.
Gerschlauer.
Yeah.
That sounds super German.
And I only know because he works here.
Is that German?
I think so, yeah.
Perfect weight. Well, depends what your objectives are. But if you're trying to carry a GoPro and you're trying to fly 6S, I still think the perfect weight is between 550 and 650 for a freestyle quad that carries an HD camera. If you're too far over 650, it crashes and it breaks a lot. If you're too far under 550, then it's too light and it doesn't have that like momentum that you can get with a 5-inch quad. So that's kind of my weight sweet spot, is between 550 and 650. But I always try to shoot for under 600, and usually I end up right around 600. That's usually how I am with time too. I shoot for like an hour earlier than I'm supposed to be there, but I end up being there
right on time.
Yeah. You need some ethics prop rep and EU. Well, hey, we got them over there, right? I don't know. Maybe if we don't, I mean, I think they should be there. If you're asking for free props, maybe I can get you some. If you want shades, just meet at the Medellin. Oh, I know about the Medellin. Is Velociraptor still your go-to sim these days? Well, considering I don't fly sims on a regular basis, and I have tried all the sims as of recent, as far as DCL, DRL, Velociraptor, and hot props and liftoff. Out of those, I still like Velociraptor, but just because it was easier for me to get the quad to feel like my real quad. So like with the adjustments that are available, it was a little bit less time consuming to get something that felt more like my real quad than it was. Like liftoff is an amazing game, but I'd consider it a game. There's too much going on. Obviously you can turn it all off, but if I flip over and it says 57 points for a dive, like I don't need to know that.
Right.
Like if I want to play a game like that, I'm gonna play GTA or I'm gonna play some kind of like Call of Duty or something like that. I don't need to know that. I get it. It's trying to make it more of a game so that people like get into it. But you can't play that game with a controller.
Right.
Like a typical Xbox controller. It's not enough resolution.
Right.
So, yes, Velocity Drone I guess is my go-to. I still do. I think so. DRL Sim actually got me back into Sims a few years ago because I thought it was very cool. Because it was just like an online server and you can go in. And I know you can do that, but it was just so free form and open world. It was cool.
You make it easy for people. And, you know.
Yeah, and it's I don't think it's as free as it was. So, you know,
Right.
it's still, you know, Velocidrone's not free either, but I don't know. As far as making it feel as realistic as possible, Velocidrone I think is the best. But as far as like an overall game, DCL I hear is very, very good, and DRL is still very good too. I just don't like liftoff for some reason. I don't know, the physics just don't work for me. And the gaming, and the start game music. Oh my god! If you leave the game music on, you're a psychopath. All right, I turn that crap off immediately on all those games.
Right.
Shit's crazy.
Stock beats.
Doom Eternal. I think all the Sims suck. Yeah, they kind of do. But hey, if you're flying a real quad, then my main issue. So Steve says my main issue is that Velocidrone is that it's made by someone who's never played a game before. What? The ESC key newer. The KFC or the escape key never does what I expect it to. Well, I mean, do you want someone that's made a game to make a simulator? That kind of defeats the purpose. You want someone that's flown a real quad to make a simulator, and someone that's making games to play games.
Right.
So I get it. Like if you're arguing the fact that someone that doesn't make games makes a simulator, then that's probably the best for the better.
Right. In
my eyes, at least. It just makes logical sense to me. But yeah, I do probably understand your whole escape key situation. Menace Spicer, never could say the same, and it's gone. And it's gone.
And bye.
So still don't use them. Yeah, never could, so he still doesn't use them. I mean, to be real, if you have a real quad and you have the means to go out and fly every day, then yeah, that's the better way to go. But if you just, weather sucks where you are, or you don't have the money to go out and fly a real quad, or you have one battery, then yeah, you can get a lot of experience out of a sim. It really comes down to stick time, but real stick time trumps sim stick time, obviously.
If you're just trying to get down the controls or something, you're just starting.
Yeah.
I see, by the way, Remy's on here watching. Remy's the one that built these quads in front of you.
Oh man, oh mama. Hey, you gotta shift these little foams a little bit further forward so that they touch.
Touch the front.
It's literally like a millimeter.
Tiny details.
It's a tiny detail. And then these guys, they're almost perfect. They're not gonna do anything different range-wise, but I don't know. We'll have to talk.
Pursuit of perfection.
We'll have to talk.
Right.
Yeah, like that's the only thing I would change. Everything else is perfect. Literally everything.
Those are easy adjustments.
As if I hand built them. That's the way that it looks. There's just a couple little tiny nuggets.
Very
cool. Look at them, damn Dustin. What up? What else? 2 Omni and a patch on a rapid fire. I like an Omni and a patch, but that's just my personal preference. Evil. Velocity on my lunch break. Alright, this last question. There's an RG. What? PR? I don't even know what that is. There's so many things coming in now. Why?
Because you said last question. I was like,
there's a group of people who use liftoff music in their videos.
What?
That's what he's saying.
Please direct me to this so I can put it somewhere that will melt.
We're gonna need a link. All this.
If that was a piece of ice, I would put that shit outside right now in the sun. Lean has learned so much from Velocidrone and Transfer Zone Y5 inch. Yep. Michael knows how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, we've done like an hour and 18 minutes of just non-stop back-to-back attack. 37 peeps. There's a lot of people in here, actually. We
got like 200 comments.
We started at 23. We've been up to all the way to 37. Still alive. Chilling. Dan, what up, Damon? Yeah, I'll be on Warzone. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for having me, guys. And thank you for allowing me to open up these things and sign them. So I guess if you weren't here in the beginning, I opened up a couple of these Apex builds that Good FPV's built. I think most of them are actually sold. That's probably not going to focus, but they're sold already, right?
All but one is sold. So
all
a
but
few
one
lucky
is
people
sold.
get some
So
signed
whoever
ones.
has
Get
ordered
one extra.
whoever's ordered one recently, you're gonna get one signed.
Also got some props
and then
signed.
we also got a bunch of props and stuff that are signed. So, yeah. Dang, that friggin' my boy's got some Tom Hanks waving full Forrest Gump status. Cool, man. See you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good day.